Колонами вони ходять, но... Бада-бум! Бас-гітара! Ото гепнуло!
The Ukrainian armed forces conducted a precision strike on the command post of the 8th Guards Combined Arms Army of the Russian Federation. It is reported that the command center was located in the village of Pantsir-S, in the temporarily occupied part of the Donetsk region. The armed forces of Ukraine took all necessary measures to minimize risks to civilians. The General Staff did not disclose the location of the Russian headquarters. The Russian media MASH in Donbass published a video from the spot where one of the shells fell. Despite the video's partial blurring, the impact's probable location was identified using the area's characteristic elements. The recording was made on Filatova Street between the Kartsysk pipe plant and Stalkanat Selor Enterprises near a multi-story administrative building, plant management. It can be assumed that this was the location of the 8th Guards Combined Arms Army's command center. However, it is worth noting that the target of the Ukrainian munitions could have been another object. Local residents report about 8 explosions and the operation of enemy air defense systems. On December 30th, the armed forces of Ukraine launched a missile attack on the village of Azov in the Kursk region. It is reported that 8 Russian servicemen were killed in the strike and another 22 were wounded. Militarny reported that among the dead were 2 lieutenant colonels and 1 major. French-British Storm Shadow cruise missiles struck the command bunker. According to the Deep State Project, the 237th, 104th, and 234th Guards Air Assault Regiments of the 76th Division are stationed in the Kursk region. A state of emergency has been declared in Engels after Ukrainian strikes, and fuel depot tanks keep detonating, and the fire is visible all the way in Saratov. During firefighting efforts, 2 emergency workers were killed and 1 was injured. In another video from the action at the Crystal Fuel Depot in Engels, featuring some interesting radio chatter from emergency workers, they confirm a tank explosion. The Ukrainian General Staff previously confirmed they struck an oil depot in Engels, Saratov region. The attack targeted the Kombinat Crystal fuel storage facility, crucial for supplying the Engels 2 air base, home to Russian strategic aviation. Remote pilots of the FPV drones from the 414th Separate Brigade of Unmanned Aerial Systems Magyar's Birds showed how they damaged the enemy's automotive and armored equipment. The first destroyed convoy consisted of an MTLB tracked tractor, an armored personnel carrier, a GAZ-66 Shishiga truck, and a UAZ off-road vehicle. In addition, 2 units of previously destroyed vehicles and a visually intact UAZ Bukanka van can be seen in the video. First, the FPV drones targeted the head of the convoy, destroying an off-road vehicle, followed by the destruction of enemy MTLBs and APCs. The final target in the convoy was a Shishiga truck loaded with enemy ammunition. The second convoy, which was mechanized, consisted of a BMP-2 and a tank. A Magyar's Birds reconnaissance drone captured footage of the tank's mechanic driver ramming an electric pole and colliding with the IFV's barrel while it was in motion. After the first hit to the tank, the combat vehicle continued to move, while the IFV crew stopped, left the armored vehicle, and hid in a forested area. Finally, the tank was destroyed, and the BMP-2 was damaged, but later finished off by a heavy bomber drone. The third destroyed convoy consisted of 2 infantry fighting vehicles. The brigadier also showed the destruction of an enemy tank, which was abandoned by the crew after several hits, and subsequently finished off by drones. Additionally, the brigade's FPV drone operators destroyed 1 tank, 1 MTLB, 1 BMP-1, several guns or howitzers, hit an MRAP armored vehicle that exploded in a minefield during the retreat, and 1 improvised buggy. On December 20th, Militarny reported that Magyar's Birds started using FPV drones controlled by fiber optics. This drone is an original development of the brigade's Climate Team Engineering Service. Tanks of the 12th Azov Brigade are smashing Russian forces on the Toretsk front. The 12th Special Operations Brigade, Azov, commonly known as the Azov Brigade, is actively engaged on the Toretsk front in Donetsk Oblast, playing a crucial role in Ukraine's defense efforts. In September 2024, the Azov Brigade reported stabilizing the previously catastrophic situation in the settlement of New York, located near Toretsk. Upon their deployment, they regained control over parts of the settlement and broke enemy encirclements of Ukrainian troops. Despite ongoing tensions, with Russian forces conducting up to 15 assaults daily, the brigade's efforts have been pivotal in maintaining Ukrainian positions. In early January 2025, the Azov Brigade launched a counterattack near Toretsk, successfully clearing Russian positions and exposing logistical vulnerabilities in enemy lines. This operation underscores the brigade's effectiveness in offensive maneuvers and its adaptability to evolving battlefield conditions. The brigade's armored units have been instrumental in repelling Russian advances. Former U.S. Army commander in Europe, Ben Hodges, shame on us that we have not done everything that we could to help Ukraine win. It's in our interest.
Shame on us that we have not done everything that we could to help Ukraine win. It's in our interest. This is not charity for Ukraine. This is in our strategic interest. And I think we are going to rue the day that we allowed Russia to continue doing what it's doing now, while we still have a chance to actually help Ukraine defeat Russia.
Ben Hodges adds, "You can't let Vladimir Putin continue his hybrid war against the West without consequences for Russia."
The significance of the damage is not that great. It can be repaired. What is significant is that it has been damaged as part of a continuing series of actions by Russian vessels that are not clearly identified as Russian Navy, but there's no doubt that this is Russian-directed, Russian-related activity. And it's being done in such a way that causes damage to lots of our communications and energy infrastructure. But this is what Russia does. Until they get punched in the nose, until we make them stop, they will continue doing this. And it only gets worse until we act.
And would you mark this incident as a clear escalation in Russia's hybrid attack against NATO allies?
Actually, I don't like the use of the word hybrid because it kind of puts it in sort of a squishy category. You know, the Russians don't think, hey, we're going to do a hybrid thing, or we're going to do a real thing, or we're not, or whatever. They're always at war. It just depends on what they're trying to achieve, what part of the spectrum of capability they use. So until we get in the same mindset and treat what they do as part acts of war, and then get the right policies in place, get the right laws in place, and have tangible, painful repercussions for the Russians, they're going to continue doing this. You know, instead, what we get are, we're very concerned, or we need to examine this. You know, the Finns got it right. They went out and seized this ship, and that's what we all need to be doing. We should make it clear to the Russians that any time there's an accident like this, we are going to impound the vessel that was involved. And we should be doing the same thing with these ships, the so-called shadow fleet that's carrying illegal oil out through the Baltic Sea. Denmark has talked about perhaps stopping ships, checking them for the insurance, checking them for compliance with the sanctions. These are the kind of actions that we should be doing. And these are all completely within the international law. That's what we should be doing, and quit worrying all the time what Russia might do if we enforce the law. They should be worried about what we're doing instead of us always worrying about what they're doing. There's nothing they can do to escalate. They're not going to use a nuclear weapon over this. They're going to threaten, they're going to complain. But at the end of the day, you see that Finland, the newest member of NATO, is the first one that really went out and did something. This is where I think all of our allies in the Baltic Sea, including Poland, need to be much more forceful in protecting infrastructure, enforcing international law, and don't allow Russia to get away with what they've been doing.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.